Hello, good morning everyone. Maayong bungtad. Thank you very much for inviting me to this conference. Natutuwa ako. I'm very happy to be addressing this audience kasi just like they mentioned sa introduction ko, yung first job ko ay sa Mindanao. So there's a special spot in my heart for Mindanao. No? Okay. So I will be presenting to you this morning the Zero Hunger Lab, and I'm glad that Monsi went ahead of me. No, sabi niya act now. And in my presentation I will 200 volunteers from USTP for this initiative. Ang namin dito, and we're partnered with USTP and Kids Who Farm and a few other partners, the Food Systems Ambassador. Okay. So the Food Systems Ambassador Challenge, well, let me give you an overview. No? So una, I will give an background, sino ba kami, and then ano yung challenge, and then what we can do. No? Especially this shout out to students who are looking for at least 200, prefer more students. No? So that yung nabanggit kanina, the quadruple helix, tying together innovations, university research, industry, and community development. That's what we will discuss in my presentation. So first, who are we? No, as mentioned, the Civic Asian Development Academy started as my student project, along with a few classmates MIT. I was enrolled in the D-Lab, Development Ventures Lab sa Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And in one class I took, ang challenge sa amin doon is come up with a solution that will solve the problem of 1 billion people. Billion, hindi million. No? Sinasabi nila, why think mega when you can think giga? So talagang scale yung pinapag-usapan doon, and Civica was my project. No? So now Civica Asian Development Academy works at the intersection of innovation, leadership, and impact. On the one hand, we train mayors, governors, youth leaders. And then for the innovation portfolio, we set up labs, including the Zero Hunger Lab. And then we work, when we teach leadership and innovation, we measure our success by impact. No? It's not enough na makapag-attend ka ng training, leadership training, pero wala naman impact. No? So to us, the ultimate outcome ought to be impact. We have been working with universities all over the country and also in other countries for the past several years. With DSWD, we trained 1,000 social workers through 11 universities nationwide. So that's why we have a deep belief in the potential of universities as catalysts. No? And that is what we will be presenting to you. Ngayon, what is the Zero Hunger Lab? No? We've been in discussion with Ma'am Angel since last year about the Zero Hunger Lab, and actually USTP has been functioning, has a number of labs, innovation centers that are doing food security. So we're really happy na may compatibility yung mandates natin. No? But in general, what are social labs? Social labs are platforms for addressing complex social problems. No? So it's one thing to innovate on food technology, pero gaya nga sabi ni Ma'am Angel, poverty is one major problem. No? So paano kung yung mga pamilya na 8 ang anak nila, so gipit na gipit sila, kung maliit ang income nila, gipit na gipit sila. So there's a need also for social innovations and governance innovations, hindi lang technology innovations. So the Zero Hunger Lab attempts to bring together all sorts of innovations so that we can solve problems, complex problems in large ways. No? What are social labs? They bring together diverse participants. You know? They are experimental. Hindi ito one time lang, no? Pero ongoing. So we imagine that the Zero Hunger Lab in Northern Mindanao could have a 3 to 5 to 10-year agenda hanggang nasosolve na actually, no? Until we're actually able to solve the problems. In this case, maybe poverty, malnutrition, food security. And then they are systemic. Hindi to tingi-tingi. No? These are not social labs work on systemic solutions. And we'll get to discuss that a little more. So here's one example of a social lab that we set up in Sultan Kudarat. It was supported by UNICEF. And in this picture, this guy in black, siya yung municipal mayor. No? And then we asked the mayor to share the problem set of the municipality. This is the municipality of Calamansig, Sultan Kudarat. He shared the problem set. Ang two top problems niya was childhood malnutrition. They had high childhood malnutrition rates. And then teen mental health, because in this senior high school, the year before, there was a completed suicide. No? So, anong nangyari, these are senior high school students presenting their research finding based on the problem set shared by the mayor. So, naturally, the mayor showed up. No? Kasi yun yung problems na gusto niyang pa-solve. So when the students were ready to present their findings, the mayor was interested to show up and listen to their recommendations. One, because he's interested in the findings, but two, it's also good politics. It's good politics for a mayor to be seen as listening to the youth. No? And then for the youth naman, I was really happy for the students. These are grade 11, grade 12 students presenting their findings. And I was actually impressed with their research. No? They were obviously well advised by their teachers. No? They had a solid paper to present. And their research was relevant. Papakinggan sila ni Mayor because they were speaking to the problems of the LGU. No? Hindi sila perwisyo sa LGU. No? Often students doing research are treated as a nuisance. No? Parang pinapaikot-ikot lang dahil walang pakinabang yung LGU. No? But when we're able to bring together the problem set of the municipality and the research of the students, then there is a lot of value that gets created. And this is how the triple, quadruple helix begins to come together at the local level. Yeah. Here's another example. I was coaching the mayor again of this time in Iloilo City. Her problem was teen pregnancy. So sabi ko sa kanya, siya no, the mayor is this lady in peach. No? And I was telling her, top nursing students, because nursing students have a community nursing rotation. So yun nga ginawa niya. And here, the students are now, isa lang yung nasa picture, but they were actually a team of nursing students that rotated and did their community nursing in the municipality. They're now presenting their findings to the mayor and the technical working group of the municipality. No? And then nakikinig talaga sila. Kita mo, sabay-sabay, they dropped whatever they were doing to listen to the findings. Kasi ito na yung mas matalas na analysis. No? The team gave a really good analysis. Of course, they were advised by their teachers on how to analyze it. So, this is how, again, student interventions can be very influential at the LGU level if we locate it in the right match it with the right problem set, and then if we have a lab platform as a vehicle for engaging the university, no? Para hindi tayo mukhang gusgusin na estudyante na naghahanap ng i-research. So I proposed this experiment through the Zero Hunger Lab in the province and in the region, Region 10. Can we engage 200 plus USTP students who will catalyze and decrease in a number of undernourished children by 20,000 by the year 2025. No? So ang baseline, as of last year, in Region 10, there were over 30,000 children who were stunted and severely stunted all over Region 10. So ang hypothesis ko, kaya ng USTP students yan. No? Can they do something to reduce that 30,000 to just 10,000 or so? And this, I propose that we try this methodology. It will be an experiment, but it brings together many successful methodologies that have worked in different parts of the country. So we just assemble of these all of these solutions in Misamis Oriental and Region 10, no? Through USTP as catalysts, no? Feeling ko parang ano yan, parang just as the vaccination saved lives, no? I would like to think that volunteer USTP students can also similarly save lives, no? At children die of malnutrition pag talagang severe, kinamamatay yan, eh, no? And if we're able to mobilize students who will do this work, no, and I'll share with you the methodology, then you will actually save lives and reduce childhood malnutrition by the thousands if we are really effective. I propose that we use a network of platforms. First and foremost, USTP. You know, you have, I think, 8 campuses, 17,000 students. That's so much brain power. No? That's human capital. Puhunan yan. The question is, how can we deploy the human capital that resides within USTP? And then we will also engage the Sangguniang Kabataan. It's a youth network. No? They have provincial networks. They have Viber groups, chat messenger groups. So isang message lang, kumakalat yan na yan throughout the province. And then of course, Kids Who Farm, no, with Monsi. Monsi and I have been in conversation for a year, at least a year already. The Zero Hunger Lab, and then Bridging Leadership Institute, which is also a vehicle of ours. And the Bridging Leadership Institute has over 1,000 mayors and government officials have learned bridging leadership. So madami na rin sa kanila nakakaintindi nito. Okay, anong context natin? No? Misamis Oriental has close to 1 million population. It has 3 cities, 23 municipalities, and then 504 barangays. USTP naman, 17,000 students, and then if I saw correctly, 8 campuses. So USTP alone has a major footprint across the province. Region 11 has its capital in Cagayan de Oro. So madali lang, very accessible yung regional offices. And then Region 11 has 5 provinces. Ngayon, anong pwedeng gawin? No? We suggest that the Zero Hunger Lab, we partner to set up Zero Hunger Labs all over the province. No? At least 1 Zero Hunger Lab per municipality hosted at the senior high school kasi may research subjects naman sila. And then that USTP will be the hub, no? Kasi may capacity in USTP to absorb all of this complexity. You know, you have multiple campuses, and then from USTP, you can engage the regional government offices, DA, DepEd, BFAR, and then the LGUs. No? Many of the influentials here, policymakers, are USTP alumni. So madali lang yan. And then of course, USTP students can do action research, just like the Chancellor mentioned earlier. Ngayon, ano ang Food Systems Ambassador? We invite you to become Food Systems Ambassadors. Okay? Ano yung gagawin nyo as Food Systems Ambassadors? One, learn and apply basic bridging leadership techniques. Now, we will provide an online training for you so that you can use these techniques, these are learnable, to advance food systems integration. Number 2, engage key stakeholders through online and in-person conversations. No? That's why we need at least 200 of you para mag-viral ka agad. No? We will be able to engage all 23 municipalities in parallel. Then coordinate with the USTP's Center for Health Development, kay Ma'am Angel, monitoring and then meta-analysis. And then, this is also a social thing. No? If you're working alongside 200 other volunteers, we hope that you will make friends, and then you will also begin to grow your network of professional contacts. We're looking for at least 200 volunteers who will put in from 4 to 16 hours per month. No? Kung maganda yung tulungan nyo, then magiging mas magaan yan. Because we're planning to organize you 3 team members per LGU. Okay? Yun, ano yung, just so that the concept becomes more concrete, um, the municipality of Limasawa will be our benchmark. No? Limasawa is a small island municipality in eastern Mindanao. It has a population of 6,000 plus and then 1,000 households. And it has one of the best in the country, no? In terms of nutritional outcomes. No? They are among the best. Talo nila most cities, most municipalities in the country. No, so here, for the purpose of discussion, I put together, I don't know if you can see this well enough, medyo baka maliit na sa screen niyo. But here are the statistics of wasted and severely wasted, comparing Bukidnon, Camiguin, Lanao del Norte, Miss Oc, and Miss Oriental. Underweight and severely underweight, and then stunted and severely stunted. Now, I'll not get into the details of the definitions, but in Region 10, because of these malnutrition statistics, there are over 30,000 children, preschoolers, no? Less than 6 years old, who more than 30,000 of them are stunted or severely stunted. Ibig sabihin pandak. Ibig sabihin they have chronic malnutrition such that their bodies are not able to grow. And the sad part there is that when children are chronically malnourished, di ba, their height is they're not able to grow along with those na kasingtanda nila. But the sad part there is their brain also does not develop as well. No? So the capacity, neural development ng brain nila, neurological development, is also stunted. So they have a may lifelong impact yun, no? When their brain is not able to develop fully in their early years. No? And that's why it's really important that we learn how to do this and we do it on a large scale. No? So why should you join? So I'm basically inviting you to become food systems ambassadors. Why should you join? Una, uh, I would like to think na, you would become more interesting to your crush, no? And then you might be able to meet other interesting peers na pareho kayo ng hilig. Second, I imagine that you will be able to have a more exciting and impact stay as a student sa USTP, because if you join the food policy ambassadors, you will get to engage with mayors, councilors, municipal councilors, no, possibly regional officers. So maisasabak kayo, no, you will be able to practice high level leadership, in a sense disproportional to your role as or to your status as a young or as a student or young adult, no? Parang magkakaroon kayo ng opportunity to engage senior policymakers, and I think that will help improve your leadership. And then I think it will also make you more employable, no? Maisusulat nyo ito, you will be able to write this in your resume when you graduate. And then if you're in your employment interview, your potential employer might notice na, oh, what, you write, food systems ambassador. Tatanong niya, what is that? Unsa man na? Diba? And then you'll have the chance to explain, sir, that's what we did. No? As food systems ambassador, I was assigned to a municipality and I went there and proposed to the mayor, ganyan. So you will stick out as an employee. No? If there are 50 or 100 of you applying for the same job, no? You will be a little more different from everyone else. No? And then you'll also gain professional contacts. No? You'll be meeting professionals. Kung magaling yung pagdala ninyo, then you will stick out, and kung text meet na nila kayo, pag may opening, then they can text you and they'll say, hey, may opening kami dito, would you be interested? No? So you will be already widening your professional contacts. Now, ano yung gagawin ninyo as student ambassadors? We imagine that this student ambassador role ideally will last at least 1 year, no, 2 semesters, so that there will be continuity, and then that you will commit to two sems worth, the second sem starting January or whenever, starting January all the way to December next year, whether you graduate by then or not, ituloy nyo pa rin. And then ito yung rough stages. Yun, first, we will try to match your hugot with this advocacy. Kasi mahalaga, it's important that you're working from your core, from your sense of purpose. Hindi yung napipilitan kayo. Because if kung napipilitan kayo, kung sino man yung kausap nyo at meetings, you will look bored or uneasy, because wala kayong hugot, walang passion. Second, we'll form you into teams, 2 teams per LGU. Ay, hindi, 3 team members per LGU para mapagtulungan nyo engaging the SK, the ABC, Association of Barangay Captains, and then the mayor. And then engaging in the barangay. We suggest that you para convenient, you try to start a zero hunger microfarm in the barangay where you live. I imagine that most of you live in Cagayan de Oro or near close to campus, so it makes sense that you are also doing this in your barangay where you live. And then you will start engaging mayors and policymakers, and then start initiating zero hunger microfarms. And then at some point, you will be presenting to the mayors and policymakers. Mamaya, if when the governor arrives, we will also, you will have that opportunity to discuss this if the governor wants to do this province-wide, supported from the provincial government. Component 1, food systems ambassador training. So ang gagawin namin, we'll put you through an online training, and then if there are local supporters in your campus who will say, oh sige, let's also do this in person, then you will be taught basic scripts and techniques so that you will know how to talk to a mayor and a municipal councilor. You'll do rehearsals just like in this picture, may rehearsal kami, and then after that, when you talk to the mayor, hindi ka na masyadong kinakabahan. Number 2, we will engage you. Just as Ma'am Angel mentioned, may urban microfarms in Cagayan de Oro. We suggest that you visit that and that you attempt to replicate that in the barangay where you live. Just so that you will be able to experience firsthand how it is to initiate a microfarm in your own barangay. And then, as we advocate to the mayors and SKs and municipal councilors, for phase 1, in the first quarter next year, first and second quarter, we want the ambassadors to advocate that each town, each municipality in Misamis Oriental will activate 1 zero hunger microfarm per town. Out of the 500 barangays all over the province, kahit na 1 per municipality lang muna, para lang may demo zero hunger microfarm. And then by the second or third quarter, once there's a zero hunger microfarm town in each town, then it should be easier for all the remaining 500 barangays to visit that demo barangay in their town. And then the mayor can say, oh sige, all of the barangays, gumawa na rin kayo ng zero hunger microfarm. This has been done in other towns. Sina Monsi has experience with this. They did online training lang. Tapos sa Bonggao, Tawi-Tawi, nag-activate na. So it can be done, and with technology, it's so much easier to do this. And I think with 200 ambassadors, food policy ambassadors, we can saturate. We can reach all 23 municipalities and all 500 plus barangays throughout the province. Number 3, activate. We engage if there's a local college or university in that town, then we invite them to host a zero hunger lab. Kung walang college or university, then senior high school is actually also very good. No? Senior high school, they have research subjects. They have to do these projects, research projects anyway. No? So the Zero Hunger Lab in the senior high school becomes the hub, no, for research. They can monitor all the barangays, the the students go home to the different barangays and then they can report to the teacher o yung mga statistics per barangay. So it becomes a parallel structure that can complement, no, that can help strengthen the nutrition monitoring system from barangay to municipality. And then we will connect these Zero Hunger Labs to the USTP Center for Health Development so that we can aggregate it. 500 barangays all aggregating the data at the Center for Health Development kina Ma'am Angel. So pinapasubo ko na, I hope I'm not putting Ma'am Angel on the spot. But uh, to achieve real impact, we have to monitor child by child. No? There are currently 30,000 plus children who are severely stunted and wasted. And we have to find out if we're actually making a difference in there. And you have, kailangan timbangin sila. No? You don't have to do that yourself because that is already being done. But as food systems ambassadors, we will help close the loop in terms of analysis and feedback so that the barangays and the municipality can respond appropriately and become more targeted so that these 30,000 children who are stunted can be reached. No? It requires very precise targeting rin. Eh. Hindi naman yan isang bagsak lang na papa-feeding program lang and then the problem goes away. No? Kailangan rin tutukan itong 30,000 children. Hindi kayo gagawa niyan. That will not be your role, but you will help build up the system so that these children will be actively engaged, actively managed as cases. No? May mga barangay health scholars naman tayo, barangay health workers at the barangay level. They're in charge of that, but they will benefit from our help. Okay? And then yung we will function as a network of labs. And USTP already has 8 campuses all over, no? But it can serve as the hub repository, no? So that the higher level question analysis can be done at the university level. And then number 4, provincial and regional engagement. No? I'm sure that USTP has students from Bukidnon, from Camiguin, from Misamis Occidental, no, from Lanao del Norte. So we encourage those students, no, dahil yun yung home province nila, to do the same. Sila na maging ambassador in their own provinces. No? They will give them training so that they can engage the governor, the provincial board, ganyan. So it's important that we have traction in Misamis Oriental so that we will have more credibility and legitimacy as we take this message to the other provinces. Yeah. And then Cagayan de Oro is the regional capital, so it's easy, very accessible to engage the regional offices of DA, BFAR, National Nutrition Council. We can regional level. And that close encourage and this brown bag and by my students, I taught an undergrad class. That's what they pina-project ko yung students ko to convene policy brown bag discussions. No? And then they invited the City Hall sa Quezon City, mga officers. So yun, yung the youth, the ambassadors can also be conveners of policy brown bag discussions. So this is my last slide. Join us. No, we're looking for at least 200 USTP students to launch this campaign. It's a campaign that is most intense in the province so that we reach all 500 barangays. And then we also want to extend it throughout the region. No? So yung mga estudyante from Bukidnon, Lanao, the other provinces, you too can be the ambassador so that you can replicate it. You'll form teams. Here's the URL. So you can scan the QR code and get to the URL. There's an application form there. The link to the application form can also be found on the Facebook page of this event. No? So, yeah. So this is my last slide. Thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to recruiting 200 or more USTP students. Kung attenda natin, we can always invite students from other universities. No? But nagiging mas komplikado yun if we have to coordinate with other mabuti ng if you can mobilize 200 students, you may be NSTP students or research students or I don't know whatever, no, you can do this as curricular or extracurricular, but sign up, and then we're looking forward to meeting and orienting the volunteers. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was one